like to support the channel. Also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you.
The diaspora war between black people is the dumbest thing that us black people keep participating in. Like, why? Is it not enough that other races hate us, but yet we got to turn around and hate each other as well? Is it not enough? Like, there's so many races, there's so much hate towards us already. We got to add more to it. Like, no matter how hard y'all try to separate from each other, it's never going to work. Like, it's in your fucking DNA. We all come from the same place. Like, we're all one. Like, as an African woman, I can understand why African Americans want to separate themselves sometimes, some of them, not all, because I get it. Like, they've been here their whole lives. Like, this is all that they know. Like, their ancestors were here, and it makes sense. And also at the same time, as an African woman, I want other African Americans to be like, you can have a home here in America because America is your home. Our ancestors built this from the ground up. We did. They did. And I feel like you can also have a home in Africa. Like, I just, I want to just like keep that door open. Like, I just don't understand when black people are going to wake up and realize that the people that look like you, those are not your enemies. Those are not the real enemy. Like, when is it? Like, it's freaking 2024. It's been decades. When are y'all gonna wake up that people who look like you are not your enemies? Like, there is so much beauty in blackness. There's black people everywhere, black people in the islands, Africa, everywhere around the world, in America. And there's
So the most interesting thing whenever I hear these conversations is that primarily the conversation revolves around Black Americans. And I'm like, for why? I'm like, you got all of these people from all over, like she said before, you got Black people everywhere. Why is it that every single time people always want to open their mouth and make the focus directly on Black people? We have so many things to be worried about here. We're trying to fight. We're trying to build. Whatever scraps that we got, we're trying to keep those scraps. We're trying not to lose whatever it is that we've already even lost at this moment in time. But even with all of those things going on, Black people still try to find some type of way here in America to try to give an olive branch out, try to still connect with people over there in Africa and even in other places. And all for us to get spat on, because said people that we're trying to go towards be like, hey, we're all Black, we're all, a part of this whole big thing, and you're us and we are you. People like, what are you talking about? You're American. You don't have our history, you don't have our culture, you don't have our language, you don't have our traditions, you don't even know where it is that you come from. I know where I come, right? That's what everybody, it doesn't matter if they're Jamaican, it doesn't matter if they're from the islands, it doesn't matter if they're from Africa, it doesn't matter. Everybody, even the ones in the UK that have never even stepped foot in Jamaica, that have never even stepped foot in Africa, will sit up there and tell you like, yo, they are African. They know where it is that they come from. They know their tribe. They know this. They don't even know the dialect directly in that area. They've never even actually been around anybody from their homeland, but yet they'll sit up there and tell you directly to your face, even though they're born and raised and they've always been in Europe, always been in the UK. There are videos out there. If you don't believe me, there are videos directly out there. But like I said before, Black Americans have always tried to give an olive branch out. The most that people can pick apart is that, you guys try to sit up there and take culture away from Africans because you wear kente cloth and dashiki, and it's not even really you. You don't even know where you come from and your blood. I'm like, we did that because we felt a connection. We did that because we were trying to pay homage. We were trying to show love, respect, and appreciation. But now, when it's talked about, people want to act like we were just trying to, take over the throne. Like we were just trying to claim every single thing there. And that's not in any form or fashion what Black people here are even about. So now it's like, all right, we're just going to drop that whole thing. We're just going to drop it. Just going to drop it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Because even y'all don't want to wear y'all own stuff here, which is crazy to me. Like I said, the funniest thing that I see about a lot of these conversations is that I see a lot of people who are African that are literally in Africa, from Africa, know the whole dialect. They know their bloodline, their tribe, where they're from. They're in the neighborhoods. They got land, all of this. I'm like, how is it possible that y'all open y'all mouths to talk about Black Americans? But every single time I see y'all, y'all dressing as if you are Black Americans. I'm looking at African women with wigs on. They got the same hairstyles as Black women in America. And Black women in America made a lot of these hairstyles famous. They made other women around the world want to wear these hairstyles, the lace fronts, the installations, all of these things. That's because Black women made it hot. Black women in America. Nobody wants to acknowledge that. So then I'm sitting up there now looking at guys over there in Africa with do-rags, with wave brushes, doing the whole thing with putting in waves. And I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all was never focused on or thinking about waves or any of these things going on at this moment. I'm like, what's going on? But then they still want to open their mouth and have a conversation. Now I look at the men there. I'm like, yo, why y'all wearing Timbs? Why y'all wearing, puffy jackets and coat? Why y'all wearing, Tommy Hilfiger? At a certain point in time, y'all might have been wearing Guess or whatever clothes Diddy or 50 Cent or whoever came up with. I'm like, that's real American to me. I'm like, you're not even American. Why are you not wearing your African garb, your African clothing, your tribal, your traditions, your culture? Why are you not wearing none of that? Why are you African looking American? I'm a little bit confused. And then I sit up there and start listening to the words, and I start listening to the slang, and I look at the mannerisms. I'm like, yo, this don't look nothing like African. This is looking real Black American to me. I'm like, it's a little bit weird, but I'm like, the same people that's literally taking on that whole thing are trying to now turn around and tell Black people in America something, and then trying to judge them and tell them like, yo, you guys are moving wrong. Y'all moving the wrong direction. This is how y'all need to go. Are y'all not? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Africa as a whole still separated? Have the many tribes and whatnot really came together? Like, how is the Congo going at this moment in time? How come all of Africa hasn't stopped what it is that they're doing in order to stop what is going on in the Congo? What's going on? Because I'm like, it's already enough that you had King Leopold of Belgium come through there and just run amok and just slaying all the Congolese. But now you got other people that are melanated, that are African, coming directly through there and trying to, continue the job. What's going on? All the civil wars, all the disagreements. Why is it that all of these tribes and all of these nations have not 100% come together in order to facilitate some type of freedom for Africa away from Europe? Why is it possible that y'all still even have issues with colonizers down there in South America? What's going on? But yeah, you feel that you got the mouth. You feel that you got the way in order to direct Black people when you still have not for centuries been able to direct yourself, been able to fix that continent, been able to fix your countries, or as some people want to say, your nations, your many nations that are directly there. So how is it that you can even speak or utter any types of words on Black Americans when you have not illustrated anything of what you speak when it deals with your own people, your own tribe, your own culture, your own demographic, your own nation? And your nation is run by people who look like you. You vote them in, you got the whole democracy thing going in, and still stuff is going awry. And then people want to sit up there and turn around and be like, oh, these diaspora wars are completely stupid. Well, they're stupid because, hey, Black people have tried to sit up there and come to everybody else and be nice. Everybody else was trying to tell us, like, yo, we're not you. You're not us. We are doing our own thing. We are completely different. We got our own culture, our own traditions. You guys are slaves. That's it. That's what y'all like to sit up there and say every single time. Y'all always want to sit up there and be like, well, you guys are slaves. That wasn't us. But then when Black Americans are like, all right, fine, you know what? You guys are right. We're finding out more history about where it is that we come from, our bloodline, and we realize that we're actually indigenous to this land. We are actually just, from America. And then y'all like, hold on, what are you talking about? You're just from America. All of you guys just can't be from America. You have to be from somewhere else. Did you really trace your bloodline? How far back does it go? What about your great, 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 great grandparents? I'm pretty sure that they sat up there and came from the islands, or they came from Africa, or they this or this. Nah, we're sitting up here telling you we're indigenous. because y'all wanted to sit up there and deny us. Y'all wanted to tell us who it is that we are when we had a belief within ourselves, and we did a lot of searching and whatnot. And we said, like, yo, we're a part of you. This is us. And we're together. We're a family. You told us no. You closed the doors. So now when we're like, all right, doors are closed, we're about to sit up there and make our own doors. We're about to make our own walls. And this is where we are. Now everybody want to have a problem with us saying that, oh, we're American. We're from here. We're indigenous. Now people are up in arms. I've never seen such foolishness ever before in my life. Like I said before, this is why it's very difficult for black people in America, because we are some of the nicest people, but yet we get shunned, we get mistreated, we get talked about negatively, while everybody is taking on every single thing that we've literally created and made hot. Nobody was thinking about hip hop, nobody was thinking about rap, nobody was thinking about dance, nobody was thinking about blues, nobody was thinking about jazz, nobody was thinking about rock. We've made and contributed so much, and I'm not even talking about the inventions yet. That's a whole nother situation. We've contributed so much when it deals with music and fashion that people don't even want to acknowledge it. Everybody was like, well, we everybody was a part of it. It wasn't just you guys. I don't see how it is that it's fair that you guys can just, say that you created this. Don't you know that all of these things came from, back in Africa? This is where music and everything basically started. And I'm like, that's cool. From darkness comes light. But the main thing that we're sitting up there stating is that, yeah, everything can sit up there and originate, but from that, we created our own thing. We created our own sound. So it's great. We've given the kudos and the congratulations to those over there in Africa that came before us. And now we're sitting up here giving all of that same faith and belief and love that we instilled into everybody else. We're giving it back to ourselves. We're like, this is what we've done. This is what we've created. This is how we've moved. And because we moved in this way, this is now how everybody else is sitting up there moving. Because it's amazing how when black Americans here, we're trying to tell people that you should be proud of being black. You should be proud of your hair, your skin color. Nobody else was sitting up there saying that. Nobody else was saying that. And you can't tell me people over there in Africa was sitting up there saying it because they weren't. Because guess what? Y'all didn't have to. Right? Because in the greater majority of the nations and the peoples that are there, I got like 1 billion people that pretty much look like you. The smaller percentage of that billion are other people that y'all allowed over there. But we're talking about the greater majority that make up the genetic makeup of that continent. Y'all never had to sit up there and face that. You never had to sit up there and have somebody tell you that they don't like you because you are a certain skin color. You didn't have to really worry about somebody, in a sense, making rules and regulations. And again, we all know what happened in South Africa. I'm talking about the greater majority of the nations that are melanated, where everybody are pretty much 98.9% look the same. I ain't talking about South Africa. Like I said before, stay on task, stay directly on topic, because I know how some people get thrown off on certain things because they really think that they have a point, but realistically you don't, because you lack the comprehension skills. So again, like I said before, outside of South America, looking at every other nation or country, whatever it is that you want to sit up there and call it, y'all just basically saw yourselves. You saw the same skin complexion. You saw the exact same color. You heard the exact same dialect. Everybody's eating the same foods. Everybody got the same homes. Whatever it is, right? Everything was good. Over in America, it's different, because you had people that wanted to be the ruling class. You got people that want to view you as less than. You got people that wanted to make up, constitutions and all these other types of things that said that you are less than a human being. You got one drop rules and all of these other types of shenanigans. You got laws that outlaw you, and vagrancy laws, and you got color codes, and you got medical mismanagement because of your skin complexion. You got to sit up there and deal with the police if you call them to your house, and you think that you're actually going to get served, but then they really going to serve you because they're going to sit up there and give you their type of justice when you're the one that called them for help. Right? There's a lot of things that are here that are strictly have to do with being black in America. This is why I can't sit up there and go by the whole thing of what I used to say. It's like, yeah, we're all the same. We're all, black. And no, we're not. It had to sink in for a very long time to realize that no, we are all actually just different. We all have very different experiences, and it's impossible for everybody to know what it is. Even if Africans are to come over here and to try to assume the role of a Black American, it's not going to work because they know that you're from somewhere else. So you're going to be looked at and treated differently by not just the police, not just by the hospitals, not just by people in other communities, but also the government as well. They're going to treat you differently than how they would sit up there and treat us. The only way that even there's a specific, a slight chance, slight chance that you may get a certain type of treatment or see certain types of things is if your parents decided to raise you in a certain neighborhood and you were around certain people. But even then, people are going to realize that you're different. Once they start talking to you, once they realize who your parents are, they're going to view and look at you differently. So then within that, your experience is still going to be different. You might have been a second generation, third generation, but because people can identify and know and have conversations, know like, hey, you're like actually like you're just African. People are going to look and view you differently. They're going to talk to you differently, right? So they're going to show themselves differently versus what they would if somebody is Black American. But anyways, like I said before, a lot of this stuff is stupid. It really is. But it's not way or by way of Black people making it stupid. It's by way of other people directly out there who wanted to turn up their noses, who wanted to turn their backs, who wanted to turn a blind eye directly to Black people and what it is that we wanted to help out other people. Because let's just be honest, whenever it is that Black Americans here talk about reparations, it's everybody else that quote unquote now wants to identify as Black telling Black Americans, you don't need reparations, you don't need handouts, none of that. You're not deserving of that. You're not a slave right now, just like I'm not a slave. So nobody needs right? So again, like I said, it would be completely crazy if I decided to go over there to Africa and I put my nose in an African business. I was trying to tell them specifically what it is that they should do, how it is that they should act, how it is that they should talk. I have no weight there. I have no history there. Just like Africans, y'all don't have no weight, no history here. Realistically, the only reason that you might be able to move a little bit of something is because the higher ups are allowing you to do that. So, but anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.